Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex. Today I'm very excited to share with you my first trip to California. I think I'm really happy that I waited a little bit to kind of piece this all together. It gave me the opportunity to kind of relive it again and just soak it all in for a second, third, fourth, many times, because this was just such an awesome trip. I got there probably around like 11 a.m. 2 of the nights were reserved for Illenium's Sofi shows. A lot of the first day was within the venue. It took a little bit for us to get through traffic and make it to the stadium, but it was so cool to see in person. I do have a love for a few EDM artists here and there, Illenium being one of them, and I think him being able to put this on and knowing that Chris was getting to do his song live with him, all of the other artists that he ended up having there both nights was just so magical, so special, and just one of those moments in music where you're just like, my heart and soul. We got there for sound check. We're kind of just hanging around. We ended up being there for quite a while. It is not a quick process. However, getting to see so many different artists just kind of like doing their thing, walking up and seeing all of like the mics lined up. If you think I didn't absolutely lose my mind when I saw Avril's mic, as someone who is a longtime Avril Lavigne fan, we had no idea if there were going to be any other artists doing their collaborations live with Illenium, and so to walk in and see all of those mics with Avril, Swaco, Jade, and just so many, I was like, holy shit. I'm pretty sure at this point we all were just, we were ready for lunch. We were ready for coffee. It was time. We had some time now in between soundcheck and the show, and like Chris needed to get ready and everything, so we ended up going to this place called Nick's on Beverly, which, you know, it's been a couple months, but I am so sad to say it does not exist anymore. This is easily probably one of my like top 2 favorite vegan pizzas after trying it. We ended up having it twice this weekend. I hate that I can't be like, go there. Post pizza, I also can't go literally anywhere without scoping out the coffee chai sipper spots, so I had a pretty decent list by the time I had arrived. The first one we ended up going to is called the Horror Club, which had all of these cute little like horror themed drinks, treats. They had like little trinkety things in the store. It was awesome. While I would say that this place definitely had like aesthetics and like the vibe going on, I feel like the drinks were not my favorite. Also at this time, I'm not really sure why it wasn't like, oh, I should get something caffeinated, knowing how much more of the day we had ahead of us. I ended up getting, it was like an apple something chai, and while the flavor was good, I'm also just like, why did I not get like a coffee or something? Anyways, we made a brief stop at the Airbnb in between drinks and lunch, and then going back to the venue, I was able to grab all my stuff, my makeup. LA traffic is no joke. Everything you hear, it's true. I finished getting ready shortly after we had gotten there. I just wanted to get all put together first. I loved my outfit for night 1. A little bit more on the Sofi shows, Illenium's Trilogy. While I don't know the specifics of each of the sets that he does, I would assume they're from like the different eras of his career. I don't know the lore too much. It was really awesome though, because he almost had like I want to say 3 different stages set up, maybe just 2. I want to say that we missed the first one, so we only ever saw him. He had this like middle of the stadium, like, I don't even know what to call it, like pillar stage, mini stage, and then there was like the big stage with the band, which was for later. It was so cool, the setup, the lights, the production, you will see, but it was just yeah. I cannot even put into words just how special and magical night one was. Both nights truly, but night one specifically. Getting to see some of my favorite Illenium songs live, some of my favorite collaborations, getting to see Chris perform. I was just so emotional. If you're not someone who has ever experienced an EDM show in like any capacity, whether it just be like a tour or a festival setting, you have to do it. Illenium has, since I got into it, been one of my favorites, alongside of course some of the heavier sides of things like Sullivan King and Keizo. I'm definitely an in the crowd girl, so that's where I was watching for honestly any of the times we went out to like go see. When Chris was up, just everything, that's where I hung out. So after he had gotten off, there are a few other songs, and these girls, I don't even know what happened or how they noticed me, because I was keeping to myself, right? But we like made eye contact and they like waved me over, and they like wanted me to dance, just like hang out, and they were just vibing. They had like the best energy. They were so kind. Like Illenium's song Love Me a Little comes on, he starts playing that, and this is like one of my favorites from him, right? So I'm like, let's go. These girls had these like big chunky bracelets that they had to have done by hand. They like lit up, and this girl is like, no, just like give me your hand, and she put the bracelet on me, and I looked at it, and in beaded around the bracelet it said love me a little. I was just like, what is going on? That will forever stick with me. I do still have the bracelet. In fact, let me, one second. It's so cute. I don't know if it will even turn on. It's just, honestly, it's just like so special to me. I will never get rid of that. If you're that girl and you're ever watching this, if we ever cross paths again, then thank you. You made my night. Was able to catch the calm before the storm of the next day after everything had kind of cleared out that night, and it was time for food and snacks and bed. So we headed back to the Airbnb.
What's up, YouTubers?
The next day was a lot more available for us, so we definitely took the time and did our like touristy stuff. We started the day off at this cute little coffee spot called the Black Elephant Cafe. I wouldn't say this place was one of like the massive like aesthetically driven coffee shops. However, they had a very like it factor for us, which was the charcoal lattes. They were so good. We got to sit outside on the patio and just sip and have a very slow morning, which for both of us is very important. That was really special. And going into the day, we got on the road and started heading for Hollywood. We of course did the classic Hollywood Walk of Fame, all of the stars. There was this really funny moment when we were walking. I thought one of the stars said cheese fries, but I like lost my shit. I needed a picture with it just to realize. I was just like, this says Charles. This says Charles, not cheese fries. I was like, I think I'm hungry. I don't know. Next up was our drive up to the Hollywood sign. We obviously didn't get like super close, but we wanted to get close enough obviously so that I could get my picture, because it's me. It's just wild seeing it from afar and being like, it's so much different than they portray it in the movies, which I know I'm not the first person to say, but touristy Lex is here. We stayed there for a little bit, took some pictures, contemplated our next moves. Also wanted to make it a point to head to the Museum of Art. So we were also trying to be like aware of that it was supposed to downpour later that day. We made it to the art museum. It was another moment of just being like, seeing this in photos and movies, like you think it's so much bigger than it actually is, but it was so cool to like stand in between and just look up and see like the palm trees within the lights. It definitely started raining, but this spot was really sick to see in person. It ended up being a very quick stop. The rain started coming in. We wanted to stop and get baked goods, and we also found a lunch spot, so we did that next. We ended up choosing to go to this place called Sage, which another place that is, as of now, either closing or closed, which is so crazy that two of the places that we went to either are or already are shut down. This place was kind of like 50-50 hit or miss. from there, I want to say we only had like an hour to stop back at the Airbnb. Grabbed all of my stuff again. I was very much so looking forward to night 2 after how amazing night 1 was. This one was a little bit different. Avril wasn't on the second night. I think Trippy Red was with Swaco, but yeah, I will let you see for yourself. Third day I was in LA was mostly designated towards us doing the more like relaxing. We wanted to hit Rodeo and go shopping. It definitely was a very rainy day. While we wanted to kind of view like the Santa Monica area, stop at a coffee shop there, it wasn't going to be the like sunny day out in the warm weather vibes, but that was okay. We started at this place called Little Lunch. They had really awesome vegan donuts, so you know we got one of those to share. Then we started walking towards the beach, kind of just explored that area. It definitely went from like sprinkling to downpouring very quick, and we needed to call an Uber, so we did that. After we kind of felt that out, had our moment in the rain on the beach, we started heading to Rodeo. On our Uber drive there, we were kind of planning our night and what we wanted the Grammys to look like. It definitely was like a stay in, order food kind of moment. We planned on Nick's for dinner, and then we also wanted to get this donut spot called Donut Friend. It's one of Chris's favorites, so he's like, you have to have it. It lived up to the hype, but we'll get to that. Having it rain for the day we decided to go to Rodeo was tough in the sense of it's all like a walking situation. However, it being a rainy day also just meant that it was super dead and there was just no one out at all. So it's like we had all of these places that we went into to ourselves, which was, it was nice. We went to Saint Laurent, which we got the cutest little like espresso sippers. They had some of the coolest little trinkety things. They just had so much cool stuff to see. There are a handful more that we kind of just popped in and out of. We did realize that it was coming up on Grammys time and we didn't want to be too late. Rodeo was so beautiful, so awesome, and honestly, walking around with your lover, holding hands in the rain, palm trees and lights, and you're just like seeing really cool artsy stuff. I loved it. Moving on to the Grammys.
And the Grammy goes to...
When I tell you that I like certifiably lost my goddamn mind when Taylor won her Grammy, you're gonna hear about this. So first things first, obviously everyone had their suspicions that Taylor would win. There's so many things to chat about. Okay, it was her 13th Grammy received that night. So I'm gonna set the scene for you. Picture this, we're sitting on the couch eating, we're like waiting, we were like, okay, we're not gonna have treats until Taylor wins, because we just wanted to celebrate using the donuts that we did end up ordering. Taylor wins the Grammy, we're like, let's go. And then she's up there and announces that she's gonna be releasing her new record on April 19th. And what is April 19th? That is my birthday. She announced that she was releasing her album on my birthday this year. And when I tell you I started bawling, I did. Listen, I already knew that I was gonna be absolutely mutilated on my birthday emotionally. This was such a huge moment, and finding out that she was releasing her next album, I won't go off too much more about it, but it was definitely a soul moment. I'm so mad at myself for not letting the camera just like keep rolling as this continued. This night was so wholesome and so memorable. I'm just so happy to have someone that like appreciates the deeper things and the things that I find important as much as I do. And I'm not gonna cry about it. This was my second to last night there. We did it right. We did it so right. It was such just like wholesome evening going into the next day. Another somewhat low-key day. We both kind of took the day off from work to just spend it with each other and just do whatever felt right. We went to the nail salon. I don't remember exactly what happened to my nails, but I was very bent about my nails just being a disaster, and Chris was like, okay, well, let's go get nails done. My heart. And got lunch. We went to this place called Tocaya. We got this guac that I've never seen this before, but they put like pomegranates in it. But yeah, this spot was awesome. After this, we went back to Rodeo, kind of had a little bit more time and just kind of like a slower opportunity. Did have dinner plans that night. We spent most of our time at Dolce, which is easily my favorite designer store. There were so many other cool pieces that we found here, but we ended up going to this place called Crossroads for dinner. Oh, it's like vegan fine dining. I had this like chicken piccata. We got so many just like abs. This place was fantastic. We had a very low-key stay and rest of the evening and just soaking in the last bit of time we'd have before I had to fly out the next day. We did so much, but also had so much quality time and just saw so much cool stuff. I think highlighting some of my favorite moments would definitely be walking around Rodeo in the rain. Like, even though it might not have been like the most comfortable, I think getting to do that and see all the touristy things with him despite the weather. The Illenium shows were absolutely mind-blowing. The bracelet gifting, and there are so many awesome like little moments, new foods and treats and drinks to try. I feel very grateful. On that note, another vlog in the books. Until next time.